Hi, it's Eric with Brook to River Fly Fishing. Most people agree that great drifts catch more fish, but not everybody understands how managing your slack well can create those great drifts which catch you more fish.
When I manage the slack correctly, I get strike detection immediately. When I'm out of contact, I don't have strike detection, that's when you'll miss fish, especially at the beginning of your drift.
I think Dom from Trout Bitten said it the best when he said that managing slack is just taking back the slack as the river gives it to you. In most Euro nymphing situations, the goal is to have a natural dead drift, with your flies moving at the same speed as the current.
You're trying to match the speed of the current with how fast you bring in slack. You gotta know what you're casting into so that you know how fast to retrieve the slack.
So that's the goal, and it sounds pretty simple, but it's not actually that easy. Every part of the river is different. Every current has different speeds, has different seams, has different drifts. How do you know what's the best way to retrieve your slack in each different situation that you might encounter on the river? In this video, I've compiled things that I've learned from lots of different expert fly fishermen along the way. I've got stuff from Devin Olson. I've got stuff from George Daniels. I've got stuff from Josh Miller. I've got stuff from Joe Humphreys. And I've also got stuff from Dom at Trout Bitten. It's all helpful. It's all good information.
I really want my sighter and my leader to be stable as I'm drifting, so I don't want it jerking around. I want to be as smooth as I can, taking up that slack. There, now that's what I'm talking about, right there. Smooth with it. The least amount of jerking around possible. Means that bug is getting a good ride.
Throughout this video, I want you to watch my left hand closely. My left hand is my line hand, and usually that's the hand that I'm using to take up slack. You'll notice that in this particular shot, I'm not doing anything with that hand at all. That's because in this case, with the slower water speed, I'm able to just move my arm and lead the flies through the run without doing a whole lot with my line hand. I also can do the same thing by just keeping my arm still and rotating my hips to take up the slack smoothly.
On the stonefly. Thank you, Bo.
In this clip, you'll see me take 2 quick strips with my line hand. Then I get in contact with my flies and I stop stripping and just hold the line still.
There's one. Doesn't feel that big. Decent little bow. All right, buddy, go tell your friends. So when we're managing slack, we want to match the speed of our retrieve to the speed of the water. The water that's here in front of me is moderate speed. So I'm gonna just use my line hand to just pull the line over my index finger, the same speed as the water, taking back the slack as the river gives it to me. This type of a slow drift, you see I'm just doing a very slow hand twist retrieve. Trying not to move my sighter. Just let the current move the bugs. Only just take up enough slack to stay in touch.
This hand twist retrieve is something that Joe Humphreys talks about a lot. The key to this technique is to use a smooth hand twisting motion, as well as dropping the loops off your pinky side while creating a new loop over your index finger. I find it works equally as well with micro leaders, as well as mono rigs, as well as fly lines.
There's one. Right where I thought he'd be, in the head of that little depression. On the Gasolina.
In this clip, I'm using a hand twist retrieve to fish a 4.6mm beaded jig streamer. You can see I'll cast it out, I'll do a couple quick strips sometimes to get in touch, and as soon as I'm in touch, I'll just slow everything down with the hand twist retrieve. I've found that combining a slight jigging action with a hand twist retrieve when I'm fishing jig streamers is absolutely deadly. Especially in the wintertime in those deep slow holes, using this combination of retrieves will pluck fish off the bottom in even the coldest conditions.
When you're trying to get down in these deep runs, you got to give your nymphs some slack. They don't sink as well when your line is tight, but you also have to control your slack. So I'm tuck casting, stopping my rod high, driving the flies down into the water, but then I'm intentionally giving my bugs a little bit of slack. There's a tuck, there's a little bit of slack, I'm just out of contact. And then when they get to depth, now I'm back in. Oh, that one ate on the swing. I'm gonna fight him on this side of us. I don't think he's real big. A nice shiny bow. There's a nice healthy rainbow. Thank you, buddy. In general, the faster the current is that you're casting into, the faster you're gonna have to take up your slack. So when I cast into the middle of this fast stuff, I'm using my pulley retrieve the whole way down through to take up as much slack as I can and match the speed of the current. That pulley retrieve does not work so well when I'm fishing in slower water and I don't need to be taking in as much slack. That's where I'd use a hand twist retrieve like I did earlier.
I want to show you just how effective this pulley retrieve is at bringing in lots of line quickly and smoothly. This is the regular strip retrieve. When I take it all the way back, I have this much line. I've measured this distance in one strip that I did, and it's 48 inches. You can see I put a piece of black tape right there where I had to stop. Now I want to show you how effective the pulley retrieve is at bringing in large amounts of slack in a smooth, controlled motion. Remember, the black tape right here is at 48 inches, which was the length of one strip retrieve before. Watch for the black tape. I put my thumb in the loop, and I start stripping. Smooth, controlled. There goes the tape. I'm still pulling, 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 I'm still pulling. Stop. One pulley retrieve pulled in 10 feet, 120 inches, versus one strip retrieve, which pulled in 48 inches or 4 feet. The pulley retrieve is far superior at bringing in lots of line in a hurry. If you feel like after watching this video you're going to have more tools in your toolbox for managing slack, I'd love it if you'd subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button, comment, feel free to ask any questions that you have. Here I'm fishing some slow current when the wind knocked my cast out of the air and gave me lots of slack. Using the pulley retrieve, I was able to get it back fast enough to still hook a fish.
That wind just killed my cast right there. There's one. Little guy. I don't think my 6.5X should have a problem with him. There we go. All right. Let's see if there's another one in there. Might not necessarily be big, but it's a good place for him. There's one. Wow, he ate quick. That's a little bit better bow. Man, he was on that quick. Gasolina again. Second it hit the water. All right.
Here I combine a hand twist retrieve with a modified strip retrieve.
There's a little one. Oh. Nice brown trout ate the stonefly. Oh, you've been eating good, buddy. I'm sure somebody's fished this already today, and that's okay. We had a great day. We're just here looking for a couple of leftovers. Maybe some fish other people missed. There's always fish here. Oh, there's one right there. That's a good size. What did that one eat? The waltz. Nice wild rainbow. Uh-oh. I tell you, you can go just about anywhere and catch trout on Walt's worms. You're gonna see me manage my slack here with the mixture of pulley retrieve and hand twist. This is one of those places where there's a lot of different speeds of current in close proximity. So you can't just do one the whole time. Here's a little bit faster current. I'm going with the pulley retrieve.
In this clip, I'm fishing an olive jig streamer in a small spring creek in Pennsylvania where the water was off color due to some rain. I'm actually using a strip retrieve here, but to animate the fly, not to use a dead drift. You can see right now I'm doing a more of a traditional streamer retrieve. My leader is my Adams 4X Mono. It's not super great for stripping, but it can be done. There's one. It's a pretty good one. Come here, buddy. Yeah, all right. Thanks, man. All right. In a run like this, there's several distinct current speeds. The current closest to me is slower, and so I'd use a hand twist retrieve or just do nothing retrieve through there. As I work my way over into the faster stuff, I would probably go to a pulley retrieve as I'm coming through the heaviest current. And then after I go over that heavy current and fish the slower stuff on the far side, I'd be back to a hand twist retrieve. You have to vary your retrieve as you go through each one of those different current seams.
I know this holds fish. There's no way that it doesn't. Just have to figure out how to get down to them and what they want. There's one. Ooh, that's a feisty one. Woo-hoo. Bo. I think it ate the BWO France fly. Yep, sure did.
Thank you for watching this brook to river fly fishing production. I hope that it helps you when you're trying to manage slack. I hope that you get great drifts and catch lots of fish. And remember, now that you've seen me catch some fish and know how to manage your slack, you go catch some fish. Bye.